In this video, I'm going to model this object in Fusion 360. I'm going to be toggling back and forth between OneNote, where this diagram is, and Fusion 360, where I'll be modeling the object. Once again, I want to start off by thinking about what the most effective view is to sketch this object from, and I think it's going to be the top view. So I'm looking at this and I see that from a top view the outside of this shape is going to be a rectangle, and then it'll have some subdividing lines inside. So I'm going to go into Fusion 360. I'm going to check what units my file is in. I'm going to switch it to millimeters, and I'm going to create a new sketch on the XY plane. I'm then going to use my rectangle sketch tool, starting from the origin, and draw myself a big old rectangle. Now it looks to me like I'm going to have a line that goes across my rectangle, then kind of an L shape. So I'm just going to draw that in. I get the line tool, I'll draw a line across, and I'll draw in this L shape. The sizes are probably wrong, but that's okay because I'm going to dial them in with the dimension tool anyways. So let's start adding some dimensions. I can see that the short length of the rectangle is 59 millimeters, so I'll enter that. And now my shape is starting to look really distorted because those initial sizes that I drew in were very incorrect, but that's okay. Although this first move made it look weird, subsequent moves are going to make it look more and more accurate until ultimately it's perfect. Next, I can see this distance here is 15 millimeters, so I'll select these 2 points, set them to 15. I've got a 25 millimeter distance here, so this is 25 millimeters, and I can see that this length here is 59, and then the short part of my L shape here is 22. So 59 and 22. Finally, I can see this total width here is 45. So I will set the distance from this point to this corner at 45. And just like that, my lines have all turned black, and I can check my sketches folder and see that this sketch is fully constrained. So I'll hit finish sketch, and it's time to start extruding. So this first piece of the shape is going to be an extrude up to 41.5. I'm going to use my extrude tool, select that, and extrude it up to 41.5 millimeters. My sketch has disappeared, but that's okay, it's just hidden from view, so I'm going to unhide it so I can keep working. I'm going to extrude the tallest part of my object next, and you can see that's got a height of 38 above this plateau, which is at a height of 19. So I'll grab the extrude tool, select that shape, and I'll say 38 plus 19 millimeters, and I'll hit enter. And next I'm going to extrude all of this stuff up to a height of 19. I'm going to ignore the fact that this is slanted for now because I've got a neat trick I'll show you in a second to extrude that up. So I'm going to select this whole shape and extrude it up to a height of 19. Now I think that sketching this shape from the top view worked pretty well so far. I was able to get most of this geometry in from a single sketch, but I was going to have a pretty hard time getting this angle in. So what we really need to do for the angle, if we want to model it with the extrude tool, is we need to draw that angled shape from another direction. Specifically, we want to draw it from the right side. Now, we could draw this on the right plane and do some fancy stuff to get it in the right place, but there's an even easier way to get this angle in. I'm going to create a new sketch, and I'm going to draw it right on this little flat surface in here. Remember, we can sketch on any flat surface. I'm going to orbit a little bit so I can see, so you can see a little more clearly what I'm doing. Now I'm going to grab my line tool, and I'm just going to snap on to one corner of this shape and the other corner of this shape. And that's actually all the sketching I need to do here. So I'm going to hit finish sketch. I'm going to grab my extrude tool, highlight this little wedge which I want to extrude out, and I could calculate out how far my extrude should be, but I've got another option that's even easier. Instead of extruding out to some distance, I'm going to say I want to extrude to an object. It says, okay, well, what object do you want to extrude it to? I say I want to extrude it out to this corner. You can see that by selecting that corner, it's going to extrude its way out and perfectly meet up with this other surface. I click OK, and I have now recreated my object perfectly. Now you might ask, why bother switching to extent and extruding to that corner instead of just typing in 59? Well, the reason really is that when you get into more advanced design, you're going to have to update your designs as you go. You're going to come up with an initial design, it's going to have some problems with it, you're going to need to change it. And using this sort of modeling technique makes your design more robust when you have to go back and make changes. Remember, with our timeline at the bottom, we can go back in time and edit things. So if I want to go all the way back to sketch 1, right click and edit it, maybe I made a first prototype and I realized, 59 is just too short. This really needs to be more like 65. I can make that tweak, hit finish sketch, and my whole model will automatically update. If I had set this extrude at a distance of 59, I would then also have to edit this extrude to reflect the new measurement of 65. But because I made it dependent on something else, it updates automatically.